Hi and a happy Easter. Welcome to Steve's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making Kinder Surprise eggs. These little eggs here. And what's different? Well, I've got a larger one here that'll show you they're white chocolate on the inside and milk chocolate on the outside. When you buy these in the shops, they often have a little gift inside them, which makes them a great thing for giving or receiving at Easter. I'm going to be putting candies into mine, so they're a lot of fun. You do need a thermometer. It's really pretty important when you're making chocolate in this way, particularly two-tone chocolate, that you get the temperatures perfectly right. So come along, let me show you how we're going to make these Kinder Surprise eggs. Now there are a whole host of different egg molds on the market. I've got these silicone ones, they're a lot of fun. Also the plastic ones, these food safe ones, which produce these nice smooth shiny eggs like here. And I also produce the little Kinder eggs with these smooth ones. Today I think I'm going to use the silicone because they give a lovely pattern, and it really doesn't matter what size Kinder egg you decide to make. Now we also want melting chocolate. I'm going to take a Pyrex bowl, and I'm going to put about 150 grams or 6 ounces of chocolate into that bowl. But then what you need to do is take a third of this out. So 50 grams or 2 ounces, we're going to keep that back for when we temper the chocolate. Now let's take this over to the stove. On the stove I have a saucepan with a tiny amount of water, maybe about ½ inch. I'm going to pop my Pyrex bowl on top of that. Now the heat from that water as it comes up to a simmer is going to melt the chocolate, and when it's completely melted we'll take it off the stove and I'll show you what we do next. You'll see as the water starts to heat the underside of the bowl, this chocolate will become lovely and molten. And then when all the lumps have gone, it's lovely and smooth like that, we're going to take that off the heat. And I'm going to bring this over onto the side and put it down on a warm surface, not a cold surface. And the temperature, I've got one of these laser temperature readers here. I'm just going to point that at the chocolate, and you can see that's about 60 degrees Celsius, and I'll put the Fahrenheit up on the screen for you. We need to bring this temperature down to temper our chocolate. So I'm changing now over to a metal spoon or spatula, whatever you have. And you'll remember we kept a third of our chocolate back. And what that's going to help do, by popping that in there now, and mixing that through quickly with the metal spoon or spatula, it's going to melt those pieces of chocolate and also bring the temperature of our chocolate down and give it a nice sheen. This is kind of a cheats way of tempering chocolate, but it really does work very well. And you may start to notice a nice sheen on the chocolate as it starts to temper. And the temperature now, you see we've brought that down to 50 degrees. Now I want that chocolate to come down even lower in temperature, 40 degrees Celsius, that's 104 Fahrenheit. And the reason is because this is still a little runny, and I'm painting this on the inside of my eggs. I think it gives a better effect, and it then doesn't end up pooling in the middle of the egg. Now we need to take a pastry brush. I'm using a silicone one here. When that's come down to temperature, we're going to lift the chocolate onto the brush and then just paint it on the inside of the mold. If you do it from the center and sort of draw it up in one motion like that, it'll give you the smoothest finish and also the most even thickness. And we just continue going around the egg, drawing it up to the outside edge. And you just continue all the way around the egg until you've completed the whole inside of the egg like that one. And because the temperature is just right, it shouldn't run too much down into the center of the egg there. I'll get on and do the rest of these, and then I'll show you what we do next. Now as I start to paint the last little bit on this egg, these ones have already started to set, but I can't put the white chocolate in there straight away. They need to come down to 22 degrees Celsius, that's about 71 Fahrenheit. You can chill them slightly in the fridge, not for too long mind you, just about 5 to 10 minutes, or wait until they come down to that temperature, and then we'll start preparing the white chocolate. Now my eggs have cooled down nicely and they're ready for the second layer, and don't worry about these rough edges around the edge of the eggs. We're going to tidy those up very easily. Now we're just going to go ahead and do exactly the same, but this time with the white chocolate melts. Don't forget to keep 1/3 aside for tempering the chocolate. Now it's hugely important once you tempered your white chocolate, you let it come down to that 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit, because if you put it in too hot, you get all sorts of crazy things happening with the milk chocolate, which we don't want for this particular egg. So again, we'll take that silicone brush, we'll load it up, and we'll start painting the white chocolate on the inside of the egg. Now don't do too many strokes because it will disturb the milk chocolate underneath. So try and get it on as thick as possible on the first stroke. And what we try to do with this layer is get it a little bit smoother if we can. And now you can see here I've coated the inside of the eggs with the white chocolate. I'm just going to leave them on the side until they've completely cooled down. You could cool them down in the fridge, of course, but I'm going to leave mine out on the side for an hour or so, and then we'll assemble them. Now the eggs have cooled down, and one thing I do like about these silicone egg molds is they're very easy to pull the eggs out. Look, you just flip that out of there, and there is the egg. I'm going to pop these down on the side with the other ones I made earlier. Just take a couple out. And then I'm going to show you how I tidy up the edges and join the eggs together. Now, in order to tidy up the edges of our eggs and also to seal them together, we either want to take a plate and warm that in the oven. I tend to use a frying pan with a flat base. I'm just going to heat that lightly on the stove so it's not too hot. And what I'll do is I'll take one side of my egg and I'll just lay it down in the frying pan. Now, I don't know if you can see the edges there, but as that melts, it cleans the whole edge of the egg up. So there's no more sort of jagged edges on there at all. This is the point where we can add the treat. Now I'm putting little chocolate teddy bears inside this particular egg. And then I'm going to take the second side of the egg. Again, I'm just going to lay it in the pan. I'm just going to roll it around until it starts to melt. That also gives us a nice flat surface to the egg. And then what we can do is we can lift this edge onto the top of this one, and if you just line them up correctly, hopefully I get them right first time. And there's my Kinder Surprise egg with the little chocolate teddy bears inside. Now I'm just going to take that plain egg that I did with the plastic mold earlier, and again I'll just turn that round so it cleans up the edges of the egg. And this time I'm putting some little candies inside, and I'll take the other side of that egg and just warm it through on the pan like that. And I better make sure I get it the right way up because there is a top and bottom to these eggs. I think I've got that right. And then we'll just seal up that egg like that. And there are my Kinder Surprise eggs. They look fantastic. They're going to be lots of fun to hand out at Easter. One of them's actually got a little egg inside the egg itself. So the other ones have got candies inside. I hope you've enjoyed watching me today make these Kinder Surprise eggs. Now I would say get the kids involved, but of course they won't want to know what's going inside the egg, so you may have to do it at 3 in the morning when they're in bed. But anyway, share the love, give the thumbs up for this video. I'd love to hear your comments down below. I'll see you next time. Be good. Now there are my Kinder Surprise eggs. They look fantastic. They're going to be great fun to give out at Christmas. Just in case you missed any of the other Easter recipes that were on this. And just in case you... This is going to be horrible to edit. And just in case you've missed some of my other Easter recipes, I'll leave a link up here. As always, please subscribe to the channel. I had a lot of fun today. Be good. See you next time.